All right. Well, as always, Igor,
Thank you,
you're
Igor.
very thorough and great information for people that haven't worked the Ontario QSO party before. It's a great contest, and of course, a good chance to see how your equipment works across Ontario and that with it. Usually pretty busy and pretty active, but the nice thing is too, as Igor alluded to, the time. You know, it's not like from full-time Saturday to full-time Sunday where you're working 24 hours around the clock. You know, you can go to bed, get some rest, and get up. It starts Saturday afternoon, and you know, it breaks overnight and then into Sunday morning and Sunday to Sunday afternoon. So it's kind of a neat contest, and as mentioned, if you want to put an hour in, fantastic. You know, do an hour. If you want to do the whole time frame, then do the whole time frame or anything up you know, to it. So it starts 2 o'clock Saturday. So next Saturday you can join Zoom, and it's not going to interfere with your contest if you wish. So yeah, it's great. So thanks so much, Igor. Do appreciate it. Any further questions for Igor on that? It's pretty
I just,
straightforward. I'm sure you
I
can.
just
Oh, sorry.
wondered
Yeah.
why in so many announcements for it, they keep saying April 18th instead of the 16th and the 17th. So I just thought, what's that supposed to do? Confuse us? Why didn't they just say the 16th instead of the 18th? I just didn't
Bob,
understand
sorry,
that.
internet not stable. Not
Yeah, I
stable
guess.
internet. Can you repeat again? I did not catch you.
Okay, yeah, you've got some red bars there. Igor, I was just saying that a lot of the presentations that I've read about the QSO party say that it's April 18th. And I'm thinking, what's that all about? That's Monday. You know, it should
Yeah, I
be the
see.
weekend. Yeah.
I
Just
think this is mistaken. Maybe
Was it
this
for
is.
this year? You know, last year it might have been the 18th or something. Maybe you were looking at the wrong year.
I thought I was looking at the current year, but I could have been
Okay,
mistaken. Yeah, it's
I see.
possible.
Okay,
The time, I'm wondering if
let me.
you're getting mixed up with the 1800 Zulu.
Yes. Let Igor answer it. Go ahead, Igor.
I see. Okay, so first of all, 99% of the contest appears on the weekend. For the Ontario QSO party, assigned date 3rd weekend of April. This year it will be 16 and 17 of April. Starts at 18 Zulu. On the homepage of the ONQP, you will see official announcement. This is mostly true information related to date and time. You can see every time when you have questions. But for this year, this is 16 and 17. I don't know why assigned 18, maybe mistaken, maybe different year, difficult to say. This year,
Possibly.
16, 17.
Thank you. Very good.
Okay.
And yeah, sometimes, as Frank was alluding to too, sometimes they take the Zulu into account, right? So
Yeah.
when you're looking at, say, Canada Day contest, even though it starts at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock the night before on the previous day, it actually is at 000 Zulu, which
Yep.
is the following day, right? So it gets a little confusing. Either got to go by Zulu or your Eastern
Well, that's what I
time
usually
zone.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from the local standard time sort of thing.
Yeah, it can. And you know what? For a lot of new amateurs that aren't familiar with the Zulu clock, absolutely, it gets totally. And I've had people call me and say, geez, you told me the contest was going to start at 000, and I listened, and you know, it didn't start until earlier or after or whatever. So yeah, it can happen. So, for sure. Well, that's great. Well, maybe we'll get a few people interested in working it. It's good to exercise leading us up to the summer months, and you know, it's a lot of fun working it and get a chance to give a workout for your radio there. All righty, good stuff. Any other questions on any topic or whatever? I've got a couple of items to bring to your attention, but they're not long in that. But has anybody else got a question while everybody's on board that, you know, maybe somebody can answer it or whatever? Just curious. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, Claude.
just talking about the Zulu time, maybe you can take 5 or 10 minutes and explain how Zulu works and where is Zulu time begin, or
Well, you know, just off the top of my head now, I could probably put together a more comprehensive PowerPoint, and that may be an excellent topic for future. But basically, as most of you know, Greenwich Mean Time, which is in England, is the zero count on time either side of the clock, and everybody, you know, if you're going to zero beat something using those terms, it was Greenwich Mean Time. Amateurs use the Zulu clock following Greenwich Mean Time with it. And to make things standard around the world for setting up QSOs, setting up skids with other people, it gets very, very confusing if you use your own time standard, right? So, I mean, even across Canada, we got 4.5 hour time zone, right? So when you're dealing with contacting various individuals, and I'm finding it on Zoom with other coordinations with other people, like that one speaker that we had coming in from Scotland, right? It's fine indeed to say, come and join us at our 7 o'clock meeting in the evening, not knowing that it's midnight over there or whatever the case is, right? So to make things simplified in amateur radio, basically, they followed the Greenwich Mean Time and they called it Zulu. So if we're going to make, because wherever you are in the world, the time is the same for Zulu, you know, and it's easier to go that way. So that's the thinking behind it. As for more specifics and reasons, I'd have to research it. I don't have that off the top of my head. Is there anybody else that wants
just
to
basic
jump in?
information that I was looking
Yeah, yeah. It makes things easier. You know, if we're going to meet, we'll meet at a certain, because the Zulu time is the same in Arizona as it is here in Ontario.
for. Correct.
Where we've
Especially,
got
especially
Right
with
now, I'm
time
3 hours
changes.
difference, but if I was Zulu,
Yeah.
it would be all on the same time.
that is correct. Yeah, yeah. So that's
Fully
where,
understand.
yeah, makes things a little simplified over amateur radio. Now, of course, there's been a lot of controversy lately on the time changes, right? And people say, should we
that's-
stay to the same time zone, or should we go back an hour, ahead an hour, and, you know, keep everything Zulu time? Well, yeah, but look at how, you know, I don't know how that would work with people. You know, I work from 8 to 4, Monday to Friday, but now I'm going to have to work from 00 blah 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 Zulu to you know, I mean, to the average person that's not involved in military, policing, or
I would say if you're doing anything international or working in contesting, you pretty much have to go Zulu, I guess.
Mhm.
You know, but if I think if it's just contesting in, let's say in Ontario, well, Zulu is not a criteria. You know, I don't think so anyways.
But you can make contacts with international people, international stations during an
So
Ontario
then
contest.
if you do,
So-
I guess you have to
Yeah.
be on Zulu time.
Well,
right there.
so yeah, so it's, I guess it's 0 meridian. That's the line.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, Z time or Zulu time or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Mhm.
yeah.
when you hear Zulu time, that's Greenwich Mean Time. So
Yeah.
Or UTC.
yeah.
Yeah.
Universal
it just
time
depends where you are. You
coordinated.
could be at 2 o'clock in the morning and contesting on Zulu time, and oh geez, that's when it starts. It's not my 9 o'clock.
Exactly.
Mhm. So I guess it's
Cool.
important when they're setting up a contest that they really specify what time it starts, and if they
And the
give you a
dates
time,
and
if it's
everything, the dates and everything are going to be based on Zulu time,
yeah, that's
so
right.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and it can be confusing. Well, back in the day when they used to have the um, CQ Worldwide sideband, and they had it was always on the same weekend that they changed the clock. So right damn freaking in the middle of the contest, the clock changed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
Could tell how impressed you were with that,
Oh,
Rusty.
I was very impressed.
Well, me being in Arizona right now, I think we should be meeting on Zulu time. We should have Zoom on Zulu time.
Yeah.
there you go. All right. Well, let's no, that was a good question. Any other questions that could relate to whatever, whether it's contesting or time or difference with amateur radio. It's
I guess
a
I've got
whole
a little incentive to get out there and haul my that side of my loop back up off the ground. So for next weekend.
Yeah, you better go do some practicing there because I might need some help for a couple of my antennas.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So okay. Well, one of the items that I wanted to bring to your attention here. Let me just bring this down. It kind of is interesting in that when you're looking for information pertaining to amateur radio and that it's interesting to where do you look, and it kind of sparked I was thinking about it for quite a while, but John had brought it up on the D-Star net last night, and where people, so let's say you wanted to find information on a certain antenna, you wanted to find information on a certain radio that you're thinking of purchasing. Maybe you want to find out something on a contest. Maybe it's in relation to working a certain piece of equipment that you're not too familiar with. Things like we've discussed numerous times on the air here, like dealing with hotspots or dealing with FT8 or dealing with RTTY or working CW or that. Where do you go? Where do you get the information? Now, luckily, within our clubs, we do have people that are willing to share that information and support it that way. And, Zoom's been a good outing for it. But sometimes there's a lot of new amateurs out there that have no clue where to go, where to search the information. And the one thing is, prior to the internet, when I first got my license way back in the early 80s and I was looking for, the one place that we went, and any of the longtime amateurs know, that the Bible for amateur radio was the ARRL handbook. If you needed to find something about amateur radio, that was an excellent resource material and booklet to go to. Over the years, CQ or QST magazine, if you're looking for a particular topic on something, building an antenna, dealing with a certain component, whether it's whatever the case is. Remember, we had a couple of presentations from that, like, in the latest article here is on the nano, what do they call it? The VNAs, right? And how to work them. Beautiful article, very detailed, explaining everything. We were very lucky to have Andy give us a presentation here on Zoom, but say you're not connected with a club like ours or something that didn't have that information to share, where do you go? Well, QST is an excellent resource, as is the TCA with RAC. You know, we've got a lot of good information pertaining to Canada. So those are two publications. Now you can search the data bank for QST and that with it. Go to the ARRL and get the information. But one place that has really popped up, I would say, in the last 3 or 4 years, especially since COVID, has been YouTube. I think any one of you, if you're going to look something up, chances are you're going to go to YouTube and you're going to look up something. Now, I've been extensively, since I've started doing this type of format with everyone within the club since the pandemic, I have definitely used YouTube because everything is on there. However, you do need to be careful where you go and what information you get, because I have seen a lot on there, not a whole lot, but there are some that aren't quite totally correct. And sometimes you can get some misinformation on it. And it's not the fault of the person presenting it. I know some of the stuff that I've probably presented over the years hasn't been, you know, maybe 100% factual because I haven't done all my homework on it. But, you know, it's pretty close, but maybe not all from somebody that has more experience that way. So it's definitely a good resource, but don't take it for gospel. And I came across this particular website, and let me bring it up for you. And that, just to share. And if you got a pencil or paper out, you may want to jot down some of these websites because they are held to be true and fast. And I'm not going to go to every website, but we're just going to have a quick touch on it. So these are 25 ham radio YouTube channels that are really good to resource. And the first one is Ham Radio Concepts. Excellent channel. They really research their information, and they will review just about any new material, new radios coming out, new antennas, new other features and protocol with it. So it's called Ham Radio Concepts. Just go to YouTube and put in Ham Radio Concepts, and it'll bring it up that way. I've watched a lot from Ham Radio Concepts. Another gentleman is a gentleman by the name of Dave Kessler. He has YouTube. He's an older gentleman, but been a ham around for many, many years. Very knowledgeable on a lot of topics, and he will review a lot of items and that with it. So it's usually a very good YouTube channel. So David Kessler, Casler, is another great channel to check out what he's got. Third one is this one is called Ham Radio Channel. Very good HRC that they call it. Again, a lot of different topics there. And the nice thing is, let's say, all right, and I'll use an example. I want to purchase an ICOM 7300, all right, radio. Most of these YouTubers, and that's what they call them, ham YouTubers, will review. Now, what you have to remember is you're getting their personal opinion on it. It's not the standard. One fella that I usually go to, if it's an ICOM radio, is Ray Novak, who is the sales representative from ICOM USA. Very, very knowledgeable. And these YouTubers will bring him on their channel and interview him about the radio. Okay. There's you're getting top-notch information from there. So you may want to go and look at the various different channels that way. So ham radio channel is another good communications channel to deal with. W5KUB is another one, and it's a group of amateurs that get on there, and it's amateur radio round table, kind of something like we do every morning on RMI there. It's a group of amateurs that are knowledgeable, and they will go on and it's discuss a various topic, and you'll get different perspectives off that channel. So a very good one that way. This one here, HRCC ham radio concepts, or excuse me, crash course. And a fellow by the name of Joss from the US there, very knowledgeable. He does a great job, very personable fella, and his videos are very well done, and does a great job that way. Another one, Kevin Login. He's another YouTuber that goes on and puts his perspective on a lot. Now, I'm not recommending one over the other. I mean, they're all different perspectives that you can look. I enjoy Ham Radio Concepts and Ham Crash Course. I watch that one quite a bit with it, but they do a good job. Ham Radio Guy is another gentleman that goes on there, and he does various topics related to ham radio and gives his perspective and that. But one of the top ones that I watch, and he's quite the character there, is a fella by the name of Jason KC5HWB, and he does Ham Radio 2.0. Jason's quite a character. He's very nice guy, and he just about covers everything. He's probably one of the top ham radio YouTubers out there. He's got quite a following. I think he's got over 100,000 hams that subscribe to his channel. And what's happening now is all the major manufacturers are sending him equipment. So if something new comes out, they'll send it to him to do a review on it. And you know, he's quite a knowledgeable guy, and he does a very good job and gives his own personal opinion.
Yeah, I actually talked to him personally, and he's
Did
awesome.
you?
Awesome,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a wonderful guy. We'll probably, those that are going to Dayton will probably bump into him at Dayton. He usually has a booth set up, and he goes around and he interviews all of them. And if you tune to his channel during the Dayton weekend, he does live streams, which is quite neat. So if you can't get to Dayton, hook up with him, and he walks down the aisles and he goes to each booth and he'll, hi, how are you, and what are you selling, and he'll show you the stuff on the table. So from the comfort of your home, you can sit there, and it's like being virtually in Dayton with it. Another gentleman is KB9VBR. This guy primarily does antennas, and does a great job on various different antenna that way with it. So another very interesting channel that way. Amateurlogic.tv. This is kind of an offshoot of the what do they got him? Solder, is it Solder George on there that they call him? He was on what is it, Ham Nation, with the two other guys there, Gordon West and Gordon West, and Bob Heil from Heil there, and one of this guy here, and they've got another gentleman there, and they review products and that with it. Very good, very interesting, and another great channel. Hamradio.world, another good channel exploring different things and aspects of it. And these are the top 25 that people log into, and that. LCARA Ham Radio. I haven't seen this one. This is the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, ham radio club located near Somerset, Kentucky, operating several repeaters and performing new ham testing. So they may have expanded. Like it'd be like us. We could go live on YouTube and do our Saturday morning groups. Lou's done a fabulous job of posting us on our own YouTube channel, and I'm not really following it, but we may be getting memberships of people that don't join us on a Saturday morning. So it's kind of an interesting concept. Ham radio with K0PIR, another one that I'm not really 100% familiar with, but it looks like they do reviews. What's she saying here? On my YouTube channel, upload videos on the ICOM 7300, ICOM 7610, along with ham radio software programs. I hope to inspire people to get involved in amateur radio. So, you know, maybe somebody
He does a pretty good job there, Al.
does he? Okay, I
Yeah.
haven't looked too much at it. Videos by DPF, again, another channel that I'm not really overly aware of, but something that you can check out in that K6 DPF. And 2E0EZT amateur radio. Again, these later ones I haven't really dealt a lot with, but like I said, you know, everybody's got their different perspective with it. I just thought I'd bring this up. HR TV. This is Jason, KM6FAK, and I'm the dude behind Ham Radio TV. I hope you are enjoying my videos as much as I enjoy making them. I review any kind of equipment that is related to ham radio and used in making videos. So he'll do a review, and it's kind of nice to get somebody's review of a certain radio if you're looking to purchase it. K1GMM, a Green Mountain Maniac. So again, another channel and hobbyist that's involved in looking after stuff, different perspective. YL Rasia. Welcome to YL Rasia channel, where you get videos about ham radio. So from female possibly perspective and what they like about amateur radio, which is quite cool. And then KD2GIY Ham Radio Fun. Again, another fella that probably reviews various. I think everybody's familiar with Ham Nation. They still have a program every, I believe it's Wednesday night. And that was the guy I was looking at, Solder George, George Thomas, and Bob Heil, Gordon West, Don Wilbanks was the other gentleman, and Valerie Holtes, and Amanda Aiden and Dale Puckett. And quite a bit, I know we've all talked about spaceweather.com, the doctor on there, I forget her name now. I know Janice has referred to her many times. She's usually on Ham Nation and does appearances on there. Another one is Radio Hobbyist, Ancaster, Canada, Canadian based out of South, a fellow by the name of Rick, V3CNU. Tests out gear out in different situations, compares one radio against another, or makes recommendations for radio equipment and methods. So a lot of the things, you know, I've seen a lot of videos, the 7300 versus the 991, and some of the newer radios that are coming out there, and that with it, which one, you know, because a lot of people, I want a Shack in the Box. Do I get an ICOM 7100 or a Yaesu 991, right? And these people have different perspectives in relation to it. Bargain Basement Ham Radio. I guess this is the last of the 25. K4SFC. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I started this channel in order to keep my ham radio content restricted to one channel only, and upload my amateur radio content to this channel. So again, that. So this is just a thing. If you Google best YouTube ham radio YouTubes, you'll come up with the 25 best as to number of subscriptions, and these are them. So just something that I thought I'd share with you, and see if any of you have used any of these channels or what your impression is. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions or comments, and that's the item that I had aboard this morning. Something short and sweet, but additional information to use.
I've used Dave Castler quite a bit.
Dave, yeah, he's very good. I've
Good.
watched him extensively too. Yeah.
My memory's not that good, so what he says, I get the written version of it. Down at the bottom, you can get what he
Yep.
said. It's all typed out. That's what I marked down.
Okay, very good. Well, there's another good some YouTube channels may have a printout of those, and of course you can subscribe to some of these if you've got a YouTube account, and you click on the little bell or something, and then you'll get a bloop come up on your phone or your computer or tablet or something when a new video is produced by a lot of these fellas and ladies. So
I've looked up on YouTube. It's called A to Z. I can't
okay,
remember the fella's name, but A to Z. And if you have an ICOM i73, I'm going to tell you, he breaks it down very well. It's he starts A and he works all his way up to how the radio operates. Very
right,
informative. Lots of
yeah.
good information on that one. But I can't
Well,
remember the fellow's name. I just know if you do, you know, go on YouTube and you say ham radio or something, A to Z, he'll come up.
yeah,
I can't remember the fellow's name of it.
yeah. I've seen a lot of it because I was looking for a particular item on one of the radios, and I was having trouble looking in the manual, and I saw that A to Z, and he covers all different components of the radio, and I was able to find the component that I wanted, clicked on it, and the nice thing about these YouTubes, you can watch it and say, oh yeah, go to my radio, push this, push that, push this, and bang, there it is right there, right? Rather than go to the manual and push this, hold this for 2 seconds, then do a somersault and then go to this button, you know, like, I mean, it's kind of
He goes
crazy
right
there.
through the whole freaking
Yeah.
manual. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh,
And his
since you,
videos are very clear, you know. And I think there's even one for the 991E.
yes, you're quite correct. Let me see here. So let me go, where am I here? Bingo, bango. So yeah, you just do a Google search, and here comes something popped up. There we go. So there's the ICOM 7300 from A to Z YouTube.
Yeah.
On that. So I mean, you click on that, and what'll pop up? Bang. There's the YouTube video on.
Yeah, he has the document, and
Yep.
he explains that complete page on the manual.
Right. So and you can do it with practically every radio that's out there. So if you buy a new radio, you're not sure of it, you can always you know, zoom on stuff like this. But you know, you ham cured smoke by
this radio on a special episode of Amateur Logic TV, where George Thomas, Tommy Martin, and Ray Novak from ICOM did a deep dive into the features of the radio when it first came out. From the time I saw that video, I knew I had to have this radio. Well, fast forward 2 years, or a little over 2 years, and I finally got enough money in the radio fund to get one. It's become an amazingly popular radio over the last 2 years, and this was evidenced the other day on the 40-meter conversation I was listening to, where one ham reported that he was using an IC 7300 And the other ham came back to him and said that he had made over 200 contacts with people using IC 7300s just in the last several months. So it's pretty amazing. The radio itself is pretty amazing, and it has some very unique features compared to other rigs out there. However, one of the things that it has in common with most of the modern radios is the fact that it has about a zillion functions and menus and features that most of us, myself included, never scratch the surface of when we're using the radio. So what I'm hoping to do with this series is to go through the entire manual of the radio, a few pages at a time. I'll try to keep these videos to no more than somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes each. And we're going to take a deep dive, a really deep dive, and go through the ICOM 7300 from A to Z. So we're not going to start at the very beginning of the manual. I'm going to start in
Okay, so I mean, I'm not going to take up the time on here this morning, but this is where you can go, and what a great idea for it, you know. So if you've just bought one of these radios, or maybe you've had one for years sitting on your table and haven't explored what to go through, as mentioned, and thank you for mentioning it, indeed, because it's excellent. You know, he'll go through it, and I'm sure there's other radios that have the same type of concept with it. And what a great way of learning, you know, in relation to doing this. So I mean, definitely a great way of doing that. So yeah, there's definitely one good way to share stuff, indeed. Other questions or comments? Like I said, the YouTubers group, once every on Jason's channel, Ham Radio 2.0, he'll get all the YouTubers together like we're doing this morning, and he'll introduce each one. So he'll go, okay, Claude, you're next. Come on in, talk about your channel. What do you do? And you know, you come in and talk about it. Then he'll go, okay, Mike, you go next. Igor, you talk about your channel. Janice, you talk about your channel. Dennis, etc. And goes through the various different YouTubers. And he does that once every 3 or 4 months. And it's very informative, because then you'll get to see people that you may have not come across their channel. And some specialize in different things that way with it. So it's kind of interesting, and I've shown a couple of their videos along with topics that I've you know, presented here along with our group too. So it's the new technology of the world, really, believe it. You know, YouTube, if you want to find something, it's out there, you know. And last night on the D-StarNet, when John asked that question, the majority of people came back and said, yeah, if I'm going to search something, I'm going to look for it on YouTube. So it seems to be. And it appears, thanks to Lou, and at our annual general meeting coming up in a couple of weeks, we'll talk about our YouTube channel to see if we need to expand it or how it's going, and also our webpage and Facebook channel, which is really brought on a lot of people and a lot of information on that, and it's really worked out quite nicely. So